Welcome to the Free Your Spirit podcast. My name is Louise Wilson. I'm a mystic, healer, entrepreneur, and business coach, and I am obsessed with helping you open up the lines of communication with your spirit so that you can receive the wisdom, the guidance, the clarity, and confidence you need to reach your big goals and dreams. Hey there, and welcome to episode 13 of the Free Your Spirit podcast. Alrighty then, well, in this week's episode, we're actually going to be talking about some of the tools that you can use to help to guide you through your life, to make those difficult decisions, because we've all been there, right? Where we felt stuck, maybe confused, not sure of the right way forward, wondering even, am I on track? Am I really doing the right thing? Am I really, doing what I'm meant to be doing in this lifetime? And this week's episode, we're actually going to dive into that and dive into more of how you can access the guidance that you need so that you can start getting the messages, getting the clarity, getting the answers that you're looking for. And this is the work that I absolutely love to do. It's about empowering my clients to actually be able to tune in, at will and follow their own inner GPS. Because one of the biggest mistakes I see so many people making is that either that confusion keeps us mired in just stuck in the same place, or we may find ourselves looking outside of ourselves for the answers, going to psychics for the answers, maybe having those long, involved conversations with friends and family, going late into the night, trying to figure out what we're meant to be doing next. And here's the thing, you don't have to see a psychic to get the answers. You, just as a psychic can tune in, you can do the same. We all have this gift. It's just that psychics, they were born with this gift, and maybe the access comes to them more easily. And some of us have to do a little bit of work to kind of find the tools and start to use them before we can actually tune in at will. I know this was the case for me, but over the years, and probably from, I would say in my mid-30s, that's when my big spiritual awakening began. And I spent a good number of years feeling stuck and not really having the confidence in myself that I was making the right decisions for myself. And this for me was going back to when I separated from my first husband. There wasn't a day that didn't go by for 18 months where I didn't question, should we get back together? At that point, he wanted to get back together and I still loved him. But, there was a part of me knew that there was this other life out there, but I didn't know what it was, what it looked like. And that uncertainty was really scary. But as we become dialed in, tuned in to our own inner GPS, that fear becomes alleviated because there's just this knowing inside of us that, we're doing the right thing. So I wanted to share with you some of the tools that I have found to be the fastest, most effective ways to tap in, tune in, dial in, and get connected. And the first is guided soul journeys. I love guided soul journeys. I love facilitating them for my clients. They're extremely powerful because what actually happens is that you're actually guided you move into a very relaxed state and place. And it's in this place where you're in that state just before sleep. So it's a deeply, deeply relaxed state and your conscious mind is switched off, and it allows you to access your subconscious and also to access the wisdom, guidance of your guides, your ancestors. They can slip in too, because the conscious mind, it's sort of not on alert, and it allows you just to receive. But the most important thing about this process too is being open and being willing to accept what you see and receive, because it's very tempting to just think, oh, I just imagine that. oh, that's just my mind thinking, or that wasn't true, or wasn't real, or what have you. And so it really is that place where you have to trust the process. And one of the best ways to do this is as you receive the information, if you're given guidance, once you start taking action and that action starts working out for you and you start to see results, then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this works. And so really it's a question of putting into play the messages that you're being given and taking action on those, because that's going to be the litmus test really as to whether you're on the right track or not. And the thing is, we all, we can be willing to make a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. I think the problem with our society is making a mistake is a bad thing. Who says who, right? If you don't, you won't learn if you don't make a mistake. And that's it's such a pity, because mistakes are seen as terrible things when they're actually opportunities for growth. So it's really, really important to just relax, move into that deeply peaceful state and be open. 25 years ago, I didn't have these tools available to me. So I spent a lot of my waking hours feeling not settled, unsettled, unsure, confused, and I think when we can just move into those states of relaxation, dial in, get the messages, start taking action, we're going to be guided to do the right thing. We're going to be kept on track and on purpose in our lives. And this is the work that, as I say, it's the work I love to do. I have a beautiful 4-hour masterclass in which I actually share a lot of these techniques. It's called Clarity Now. And I love facilitating that masterclass for my clients because they get a ton of clarity around their life purpose, around their next steps. They also get clarity on the invisible blocks that are keeping them stuck. They come to understand who's supporting them in the realms of spirit. There's so much wisdom that you can access once you actually allow yourself the opportunity to tune in. And so, as I say, over the years, I've also worked with dreams. Super powerful, because the dream time, it's just as powerful as our waking reality. In fact, we are spiritual beings first and foremost. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And so when we dream, that's the time when our spirit gets to play. We travel, we astral travel, our spirit leaves our body, and there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to... Some people feel worried, oh my goodness, what if I don't come back? You always come back, and there's nothing to be afraid of. Whether you remember your dreams or not, you dream and you travel. So your spirit really gets to soar in the dream time. And the more that you can start to work intentionally with your spirit, you can actually start to program your dreams, work intentionally with your spirit, have a two-way conversation, so that you can start getting answers to the questions, the big life questions that you have. So working with the dream time is another extremely powerful tool I love to use. I love to use with my clients. I problem solve everything in my dreams, like strategizing, doing ad strategy for my business. If I'm creating programs, if I've got a problem I'm trying to solve, I just tune in, use my dreams to answer those questions. So that is another beautiful and powerful way to connect. Now, over the years, I've actually come to a point where I can tune in at will, and this is the same for yourself. There'll come a point where you don't need to necessarily use these tools in your waking reality. You're always going to be using them when you're sleeping. But if I give you an example, just recently, I remember I was feeling a little out of sorts. I was very tired, and I remember oftentimes I'll just go take a nap, because I tune in that way. My friends it's a bit of a standing joke with my friends, because I'll nap to get the answers, which is a beautiful way to start getting the answers. And of course, you know, I can do that because I am an entrepreneur. I have my own business. I set my own schedule. I guess it'd be a bit different if you were working in an office 9 to 5 and you had a little bed by your office desk. They probably wouldn't appreciate that. But you know what? It is an extremely powerful way to start getting answers. And even if you're in your office and you need an answer, just step outside if you can. Go for a walk, because have you ever noticed how when you need answers, if you go for a walk or you're in the shower, those answers come? And this is just really another reminder that you can access the answers that you need. And I'm just here sharing with you some of the tools you can use to do it in a more intentional way. So going back to just recently, I was feeling a little out of sorts, and I remember lying down on the sofa and I called my dad in. I oftentimes call in my ancestors for guidance and support. And it's so interesting because as I lay there on the sofa, I was in that sort of not quite asleep, still awake. It was as if I was dreaming about him, but I was aware of this and could see him in my mind's eye. And I was 13 years old. And I was with my sister and we were all piling into the car and we were going to see and visit my granny and my Auntie Maria, something that we frequently would do. And it was such a beautiful moment because as an observer, as me just watching this scene playing out in my mind's eye, it was bittersweet because it was sweet because it was so beautiful. I could feel the love coming from my dad. It was just felt so special to be transported back to that moment in time and to just be doing what you do when you're a 13-year-old and being in the presence of my dad and my auntie and my granny and my sister. And it felt so beautiful. And it felt bitter because I miss them. They're in the realms of spirit. My granny, my Auntie Maria and my dad. They're all in the realms of spirit now and I miss them. Now, it took a few days for the message to come through from this dream. And it was basically, I realized afterwards as I dove into it, what Dad was telling me was, Louise, cherish every moment. Be grateful. Be grateful for everything in your life. Be grateful for those seemingly mundane moments, because what I experienced in that sort of dream state was a pretty mundane day-to-day thing where we were just going in the car, going to visit my granny and my Auntie Maria. It wasn't this big fanfare deal. It was just doing regular things. And in those moments as an observer, I realized how special that regular moment was. And this little message from my dad was really about waking up and smelling the coffee and expressing gratitude. And you've heard me talk about gratitude in previous episodes. Gratitude is a very beautiful, powerful thing to be mindful of and to express, to be grateful for the things in your life, because it raises your vibration. And the more that you express gratitude, the more that you feel gratitude, the more that you can attract more of that into your life. So that was just a beautiful experience that I had with my dad. And, you know, as I say, you do not have to be a psychic. You don't have to have been born with these psychic superpowers or be a medium to be able to connect with your ancestors, connect with loved ones that are now in the realms of spirit, to start to get the answers that you need and are looking for. And so if you are feeling a little stuck in life, if you are struggling to find the answers, you can just hop on over to my website. I have a number of free resources that you can access right away. One of them is connecting with your spirit in the dream time, where I share a number of tools that you can use to, and strategies and tips to program and interpret your dreams so that you can start working with your spirit in the dream time. And I also have a beautiful free audio training, Connect with Your Ancestors, And that's a beautiful training. It's a video training, and I have a number of guided ancestral journeys in that training that you can access right away, where you can start to work with your ancestors, calling them in to guide you, support you. Because here's the thing, those in the realms of spirit, they're around us, they're guiding us 24/7. Our ancestors, our guides, our guardians, our higher self, our spirit and soul, we are hugely supported. You are never alone. And if you are feeling lonely, if you are feeling a little lost, I'd encourage you to download the Connect with Your Ancestors audio training, because it will give you the tools to connect directly, to start getting the answers, to start feeling the love and support that you need to move forward with confidence, grace, and ease. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, and that you get an opportunity to just head on over to the website to download those free tools and resources, because this is the work that I love to do. To me, it's all about giving people the tools so that they can access their spirit, their soul, their guides, their guardians, their ancestors, by themselves. That you don't need an intermediary, you don't need a psychic, you don't need a medium. You can do this. And when you have the tools available to you, it becomes so easy, and it creates so much more peace, gives you a great deal of clarity, and it's just wonderful to know that you are never alone. Alrighty, folks. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd love it if you would and feel called to leave a review. And you can just leave a review on Apple iTunes. I always love hearing from you, and it helps me too to keep the good stuff coming your way. Alrighty then. That's all for now, and I shall see you in the next episode. Bye for now.